Hi everyone and welcome in this new video. Today we're going to create this section here, content card image section, and we are going to use Bricks Builder and also AutomaticCSS. AutomaticCSS is a plugin. It's not necessary to follow this tutorial, but I highly suggest it. You can check the description of this video to have more information. So with that said, let's start right away. First of all, let's check the responsiveness of this section here. And as you can see, the mobile section is actually different because it goes horizontally, and we are going to create this really quickly. So let's get on our Bricks Builder page. Let me have a last look to this. So we have a title, we have a button, and we have 3 cards here. So first of all, click on section and then select the container. With the container selected, plus button, and we are going to choose heading and then a text link. Then click on section again, click on plus button, and then select container. Click on the container, the one that we just added, and we are going to change the display to grid. I want to remember you guys that you can always use 1FR, 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 as you can see, to make 3 columns. Okay, in my case, I'm going to use AutomaticCSS. So right click and 3 columns, and then we are actually now creating our blocks with the card in it. So to do that, container selected, okay, plus button, and then we are going to search for block. So once you clicked on block, you will find it here, and with block selected, we are going to add the elements. Let me check. So we have an image, we have a title, and we have a description. Very easy. So getting back here, again, block selected, plus button, we go and choose a title, sorry, and sorry, not a title. Let's open this and remove this. Let's add first our image. So click on image, then the heading, and then a rich text. Okay, this is the structure. Great. Once done this, okay, we can actually rename, not rename, we can click on the image widget and select the image. So I'm going to select my image. I already uploaded them, so I will try to use this one, for example. And he's adding the image. And now I'm going also to add the content before doing some styling. So let me get here and just copy the stuff. So I'm going to copy this very quickly. Click on the heading. Click on the text of the button, of the link button. Oops. Today I'm getting everything wrong. So paste it here. Okay. And then let's get this title here. Click on this title here. Copy this. Okay. And now we have the content set it up. So as you can see from the design, the first image is actually with rounded borders. And then we have the title here that is quite small, and the text is even smaller and gray. So let's try to reproduce this. Click on the image, go on style, and before doing anything, a best practice would be adding classes to our elements, so that if we do any changes, it will change on the whole website or on the other cards. So you can do that manually by, clicking like the block or an image and just start typing here and call it like dot image class rounded, okay, like this, and basically you can add your class, or you can use AutomaticCSS like I do. Let's remove first this and just go on block, click on BAM, And here is basically adding the classes to the block and all the child elements in it. So I'm going to call it like WP block image card, maybe. Okay, image block image card. And yeah, so then you can click on apply classes, and he will apply all the classes, as you can see. So now I click again on the image. I'm going to enable this class here to make sure I'm editing the class on the whole website, and then go on style, border, click on border here. And here you can actually add, the radius. It could be pixel or whatever. I'm going to use AutomaticCSS and select my preset radius. I would go with S, okay? And then you click here to add it to all the corners. And as you can see now, the corners are rounded. Great. So another thing we should do now is to actually, I highly suggest to wrap the image into a div, and I will show you how to do that. And let's say the image here, maybe we are not even doing that. Like, let's keep it simple. Let's go forward and see how it goes. So click on the block, okay? Now, with the block selected, click on this class, go on style, and on the padding, like first you need to check, open the layout here, and on the padding, okay, click twice, this one, 1 and 2, so that everything goes on all sides. You can right click in my case, and just add some padding to the card if you want, like this, okay, and the card is done. You have your padding and looks really great, right? So we can even keep it like this. I mean, you don't need to size the image because the padding already is sizing everything for you. So with the block still selected here, I'm also going to content and change a little bit the row gap here. So right click, okay, and you can change the row gap, as you can see. Let me choose XS this time, and now everything is spaced evenly. I'm going to click here and just change the HTML tag to something smaller, like H4, for example. And then the text here, I can basically change the styling. So by clicking on it, remember to always activate this. Go on style, close the layout tab, and open the typography one. And then here on color, first of all, I go and choose a neutral color that I have in my palette. And then font size, you can make it smaller, like S or M, L, whatever. I would go with S is actually too small. Let's say I'm going with the S. In my case, I will add a calculation, calc, parentheses, and then I will multiply this like 1.4, okay? Close it, maybe 1.2 or 1.3 to have, a bigger size than S. Of course, you can use pixels or whatever. I'm using best practices, so this will adapt based on your options of AutomaticCSS. Anyway, we done the structure. Everything looks really great. Let's see now what happens if I duplicate the block. Great. It's adding our elements, as you can see, and that looks great. So what else we need to do, actually? So something that I don't really like is actually the padding we added. I feel that this is the wrong way to do that. So let's remove the padding. As we use the class, and now it's activated, and I remove the padding from this one, it's removing the padding from everyone because we are, using classes. Let's go this time on container, okay, content, and we are adding the gap here. So click here and right click or just use, and let's add our gap. As you can see, by adding the gap, okay, it's also making the card smaller. And let's say I want to use 1 Let me check here the design. So the gap is quite huge. So I'm going with M, for example, okay? And another thing we need to do now, if you get to the design, this one is changing, right, on desktop and whatever. So you can actually keep it like this. They look very, very big. But with the container selected, you can even change the width of the whole container, right? So with width here, right click, you just go on, L, XL or XXL, depends. Like, let's say I want to go with XL this time. And as you can see now, everything is smaller and fully responsive because we are using the correct spacing with the grid and whatever. So let's keep the card smaller, okay, in this example. And now let's space everything and fix also the title. So close the container and keep the first container open. So let's start by the heading, right? The heading, first of all, we need to go on Style tab, close the layout, open the typography, and here I'm going to change the font size to XXL, for example, and then center it. Then I'm going to the text link, and the text link actually, we can add an icon here, right? On the Content tab, you can go on Icon and just choose an icon here. I go very quickly and find maybe an icon like this one that looks similar to the design. And we also need to put it on the right, so choose right, okay, and now the icon is on the right. So, the mouse over effect and the link button color depends on your team, and if you start adding a link from this option here, link to, let's say, an external URL, okay, it could be an internal most of the time, but in this example, I will use external, and you can add, a URL, and as you can see now, there is this mouse over and this color effect. This comes from actually my team, right? That's what I'm using, my team settings, because links are managed on the team side. And yeah, so let's center these two. So go on Style, Typography. I would center this, and maybe the font size is a little bit smaller. Let me check here. Yep. So let me make a font size of S. Again, you can add a calculation like I do, calc, parentheses, then multiply 1.2 and close the parentheses. And as you can see, we have a better sizing for the font. We centered already. Now what we need to do is click on the container, and on content, just click center. And now everything is centered. Let's add our spacing by going on section, with section selected, go on row gap, right click, and basically you can, add your gap here. Let's get, a good spacing, so XL in this case. And then if you want to space those two elements, of course, click on the container here, again, row gap, and just go with a spacing. It could be XS if you want. So we have spaced everything quite a bit. And yeah, that's actually all. Let's see now on the tablet portrait, on the mobile landscape, everything looks really amazing. And let's check now the last one, the mobile. So the mobile, as you can see, there is a little issue. I don't want to have 3 columns. So with the mobile portrait selected, get on container, and on container, the grid template columns, you can change it to 1. And as you can see, this is happening, right? It's showing the first card and like the first image on the top. And this is basically the most used settings for mobile. There is also another way. Let's say you want to have, like in the design, the image on the left and the title and description on the right. To do that, you actually need to create another grid, okay, and I will show you how to do that right away. So get back to the desktop version, and here we are going to edit our cards. First of all, second container, open it. Then click on the block image card, open it, and we are going to basically add those 2 elements, okay, inside of a div. So click on the heading first, right click, and then wrap into a div. Great. and I will call this div div text. I call it div text, and it's not nice. Okay, and once done that, you can open it up, and as you can see, inside of the div text we have the heading, but I also need this text here, so I drag and drop it inside of it. Okay, and select the div, and of course re-add our content gap. So with div selected, display, now it's showing block, but we can change this actually to something like you know, flex, for example, and then choose the row gap XS, and here instead of horizontal put it on vertical. Okay, and now as you can see we have the same spacing of the other elements, and that's all. So now with this done, I highly suggest to delete the other cards and just duplicate this. And let's say we want to add also a new class to this one. You can basically, if you are using AutomaticCSS, bam here, and as you can see there is div text that is missing, right? It's not highlighted like the others, and you can click on this and just apply classes, and he will add also the class to this new div we added. Great. So with this done, remove those, duplicate, perfect. And now if I go on mobile, okay, now I need to keep this selected, and with this selected, okay, we need to actually edit the column order, right? So here we have this kind of stuff. If I get, sorry, on the desktop version, okay, the block actually is set it up as flex, but we need it as grid. So click on this, select grid. Okay, nothing is changing. Okay, again, remove those two because I forgot to add this. Great. And now if I go on mobile, with this block image card selected, I'm going to say 2. Okay, as you can see, it changed to 2. And I'm also going to edit the div text here. With the div text selected, activate the class that we just created before, and we can now you know, set this up. So first thing, style, layout, padding, right click, and I would go with it could be an S, for example, or an M, depends on what you really like. So let's go with S and just click twice on this. Okay, and now as you can see, he's adapting to it, and then you get on content, and you can basically tell him to center the main axis like this. You can center it, okay, like this, or you can keep it on the top as you wish. I like it more centered. And yeah, so if I get back now to the other resolution, as you can see, nothing was changing. So if I get on mobile, I have this structure, but on desktop and other resolution, I keep my structure as it is. So I hope that the tutorial was useful, guys. Like this video would help a lot. Subscribe to the channel to get notifications to my other videos, and comment below if you have questions, problems, or whatever. Thanks a lot, and see you in the next one. Bye.